Hey Patrick, it's good to see you again.
Hi, good to see you too.
Welcome back. How are you today?
I'm doing okay.
All right. So, just kind of to kick off our session, to recap, last week we kind of talked about, what was going on with you and your relationships and kind of navigating all of that. We talked a little bit about how you show your emotions differently towards, your sports teams than you do maybe your friends or the family and kind of some struggles you're having there. And then we wrapped up with a goal, which was to go to a gym and meet somebody and inquire about joining. So I'd like to start off on that. How'd that go? Any
Um,
progress?
yeah. I went to a gym
Great.
and I got a tour of the place. I met the person that was working there at the front desk, and they
Mm-hmm.
gave me a tour. Um, so yeah, they gave me some paperwork. I told them I'd think about it and get back to them.
Okay.
So that's where I stand right now.
Okay, great. And so you have the paperwork. How long have you had that?
Just a few days now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what are you kind of thinking about? Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. It was really nice. Just thinking about whether the cost is worth it, and if I'll actually go or not.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't. I'm very. I'm the type of person that I don't like to waste money on things. I don't want to sign up for a gym membership and pay all this money and then
Mm-hmm.
never go.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I'm still kind of thinking about right now. But
Mm-hmm.
it was a nice gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so over the past 2 weeks, I've heard you saying like you want to make changes. You think a lot of it could start from a healthier lifestyle. Um, Maybe going to the gym would help. But then I hear you saying now that you're not sure and kind of hesitant. Um, and I just kind of want to see what you think about that kind of discrepancy there.
Um. Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably something that I should do. Is join the gym. I think it's easy for me to say I want to do all these things and make all these changes, but then when it comes down to it, you know, taking action, um, sometimes I don't always, you know, go forward with it. But yeah, I mean, I should probably just do it and you know join the gym, and then if I end up not, using it or whatever, I guess I can always cancel it.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I think that is a really good way to look at it. Um, take into account paying, I don't know, 30, $40 a month and trying to make that change. And, if you throw away $80 for 2 months and you don't go, do you think that you would really be that upset that you did that or you tried kind of thing?
yeah, I probably wouldn't be that upset. At least I could say, I put forth effort to a
Hmm.
little bit to try.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's great. And tell me a little bit more about meeting the person at the front desk. How'd that go?
Um, it was fine. I just walked in and uh, talked to the person right there at the front. Told him I was interested in joining the gym and wanted to get more information and wanted to see if
Hmm.
I could get a tour. And they said they were happy to do it, so they showed me around and helped me out. And I mean, they're obviously trying to sell me on the place, but yeah, it was a good interaction, I'd say.
Okay. So I'm hearing you saying that you felt good in the interaction. It wasn't that uncomfortable for you, but I'm kind of seeing you being a little fidgety and like maybe looking off to the side. Do you think maybe there was a little anxiety there?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think I always get anxious when I meet new people.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, look, I think maybe this was a little bit easier than like a normal interaction with someone because there was like they had a job to do and
Mhm.
I was there for a reason. It wasn't like just talking to a random stranger on
Mhm.
the street about random things.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear you did that, and really proud of you for reaching that goal.
thanks.
So as we kind of go forward, thinking about the gym and maybe meeting people in that way, like you said, kind of having to just start up a conversation with no preface of what it's about. Do you think you could maybe look for that to be your next goal?
Um, yeah, yeah, I think so. I mean, definitely something that I'll be hesitant to do. I don't really go talk to strangers,
Hmm.
but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we can keep that in mind for the future.
Hmm.
So, has anything else been going on that you want to bring up right now?
Um, I mean, nothing like I'd say like new really, but
Hmm.
just kind of like along the same lines of what we talked about last week about my emotions and like how I don't show a lot of emotion and sometimes like in order to show more emotion I'll like drink alcohol or something like
Hmm.
that, something that can like help me feel more comfortable and not care as much about what people think.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like I rely on drinking or something like that too much and use it as a crutch.
Hmm.
Um, but I know that's probably not a good thing. Uh, I should be able to be comfortable, you know, regardless.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. I understand. I think that's a very common thing, social anxiety. Everybody has a little bit of it at least, so you're not alone there, and I do understand. Maybe we can do a little role playing. Would you be interested in that?
yeah, we can try. I don't think I'm very good at it, but I'll try my best.
That's okay. So, I just want to put us kind of in this situation that you might be in. Like, we could say maybe we're out at a bar, um, and maybe I'm a mutual friend. So, I'm with your friend who you know, but you don't know me. So, maybe that can be like a little connection. Maybe it'll help kind of loosen up a
Mm-hmm.
bit. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll start it off. I'll just say hello and introduce myself, and then just let's kind of see how the conversation flows.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Patrick, right?
Yep.
Oh, nice to meet you. My name's Jill.
Oh, nice to meet you too.
So, how do you know Bob?
Oh, we've been friends for a few years now. I met him through work.
Hmm.
Yeah. How do you know him?
Oh, we went to high school together.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which high school did you go to?
Oh, we went to Grapevine High School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you from around here?
No, no, I'm not originally from this area, but just always curious to hear where people are from,
Oh, okay.
and
Cool.
their backgrounds.
All right. So, we'll stop now. How do you think that went?
I think it went fine. I mean, a little bit awkward, but I think it went fine. I mean, I don't know how you felt or the other person, and that if that was the scenario, how they would have felt about it. But
Well, one thing I noticed was you were really engaging. You asked questions and, didn't just say yes or no whenever I asked a question to you, which was great. The only thing that I kind of noticed was your tone. It was just a little bit monotone.
mm-hmm.
Do you find yourself doing that when you're a little bit more anxious, maybe?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think it's like my comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
comfort tone. Uh,
Yeah,
just always fall back on it.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
So, can you tell me more about, how you feel in social situations? It sounds like maybe you're anxious.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm anxious, and then just like, yeah, wondering what other people think about you, I guess. And then I think sometimes, when I'm having a, I'll just like, when I'm in a social situation, my head, or like, I'll just start wandering, like my mind will start thinking about something random, and I don't feel like I'm engaged, like in the conversation or the situation, and then
Mm-hmm.
um, that probably doesn't help to show that I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't really know why my mind wanders like that sometimes, but it does.
So I'm kind of sensing this pattern where, you're wanting to show emotion or you're wanting to converse with somebody, but you kind of clam up maybe a little bit, do the opposite, get kind of anxious. And, I'm wondering if it's because you're just so worried to do or say the wrong thing that maybe almost a defense mechanism for you is to start letting your mind wander.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
not that you're not maybe engaged in the subject, it's just instead of having to kind of put forth that effort and be vulnerable to, listen and engage, instead you kind of just let your mind wander.
yeah,
Do you think that could
yeah,
kind of be it?
yeah. I think that could be it.
Okay. So, I think, something like this, it's probably best to start with people you're close to. It's close to the holidays. Are you going to see any family?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going home next week, so I'll see a bunch of my family then for Christmas.
Okay. I'm curious, does that kind of mind wandering happen with your family?
No, not really. I feel like when I'm around my family, I don't feel like the pressure to like
Mm-hmm.
act a certain way or like say a certain thing. Like if I have nothing to say or I have a lot to say, like they don't care. Like they're just gonna accept me
Mm-hmm.
who
Yeah.
I am, and so I don't feel that as much
Yeah.
around my family.
Okay. That makes sense, and I'm glad to hear that. So maybe you can kind of think of practicing with your family in a way that, like, you don't have to tell them that you're doing it, but, maybe practice showing a little more inflection in your voice, or, when your mom gets you a good gift, really show extra, like, oh my gosh, mom, thank you. Like, I really like this, or, a little bit more than you normally would, and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
feel it out with the people you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
Does that sound like a doable thing?
yeah, yeah. I can do that.
I think just becoming more comfortable doing it with your family who, like you said, won't judge you
Mm-hmm.
will go a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, kind of just to summarize what we talked about today, I'd really like to hear about how your holidays go with your family, the expressing a little bit more emotion, maybe trying to keep your focus on your family and what they're saying, and maybe if you see friends, you can kind of work on that as well. Kind of be really conscious of your mind. Kind of something I like to do is called thought stopping. And when you start doing that negative behavior or thinking, whatever works for you, you can say stop in your head, or, not that, or whatever means something to you. And then kind of bring yourself back to the present. And I think that's a kind of a good thing to think about, especially when you have these thoughts. Maybe your mind's wandering, or you have negative thoughts, or don't do that, don't say that. You know, stop. Keep yourself present and in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, great. So I'd love to hear about how it goes next week.
Okay.
And it was great talking to you today.
All right. You
You have a
too.
great day.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
You
you.
too.